Hi everyone, my name is George Lang, and I was asked by Pastor to give a brief video on the ways God has been teaching me through this COVID season about himself and also teaching me about myself. Um, Now, for the past 5 years or so, I work from home for a living. I do computer software design, programming stuff. So um, I'm sort of used to being here and alone. But of course now my wife is working from home and my three kids are here and they're doing their schoolwork from home. So it was a little bit different in that way, but I wasn't quite as stunned by having to be at home. The first time I remember being a little bit freaked out by this was early on. I remember going to Meijer and the shelves were really bare. I mean, not just the toilet paper aisle shelves, but many of these shelves in the aisles were bare. And it kind of freaked me out, kind of panicked me a little bit. I didn't know, what was going to happen in the weeks to come. Would I have food? I know it's kind of a silly thought, but it also made me appreciate, though, the people who are there working to provide our food. And I remember running into Val a few times at Kroger, and selfishly, I never really appreciated how much work is done on my behalf just to get food on my table. And God really impressed upon my heart that these people need to be appreciated. And we have many in our church family that provide that for us, for me, for my family. So that was one area where God really showed me where I need to be thankful. Another area was in the prayer primer that Pastor provides. And I remember, at the bottom there's the intercessory prayer section. And I remember hearing about people who have either had COVID or people in the hospital that had severe COVID-like symptoms. And again, it's like, oh wow, this is real. Kind of, again, scared me a little bit that it's not just happening to some people in New York City. It's here, and I need to be praying for these people and just be cognizant that it is out there, and also know that God has it under control. I don't need to be afraid, even though that was my first reaction, but just be in prayer for these people. I also remember just laying awake and thinking of ways to pray, and I started praying, trying to remember where people sat in the congregation and just praying for the different families that I can remember, trying to remember like all the family groups that are there. So I would start, I sit in the sound booth, so I'm seeing the backs of everybody's heads, and I'm looking at the left-hand side where all the Taylors sit in the front. I start praying for the Taylors. And of course, the Taylors fill up that whole section just about, so that was an easy section to pray about. But anyway, so that was kind of neat, just to remember you all and just to pray for the church family. But God also showed me I have a pretty bad patience problem. Like when I have to stand outside at Walmart to get inside of Walmart, or go to Lowe's and wait inside of Lowe's to get to the garden center outside of Lowe's, or go to Menards and have to buy a mask to go in there. Boy, that irritated me, but I have problems, people. But God showed me, hey, look, you need to be more patient. Anyway, I wanted to read a few verses that God laid upon my heart. And this is 1 Thessalonians 5:12. And I'm just going to add some COVID phrases in there just to shed light on how these verses related to me, the impact that COVID's having and how I need to respond. So 1 Thessalonians 5:12. But we request of you, brethren, that you appreciate those who diligently labor among you. Val, Brad, Brian, all workers. And have charge over you in the Lord and give you instruction. Thank you, Pastor Mike and Pastor Matt and deacons. And that you esteem them very highly in love because of their work. Live in peace with one another. We urge you, brethren, admonish the unruly, encourage the faint-hearted, help the weak, be patient with everyone during this COVID season. See that no one repays another for evil with evil for evil, but always seek after that which is good, for one another and for all people. Rejoice always during this COVID season. Pray without ceasing during this COVID season. And in everything give thanks during this COVID season. For this is God's will for you in Jesus Christ. I hope to see you guys soon. Miss you. Bye.